This is the third video in a series of swimming pools after I've done Leichhardt and Drummoyne. Now I'm assuming you can use Google Maps and you can go and find the Cabarita pool homepage and see what this place is all about. I'm not going to go and describe it in great detail, and I didn't take any photos while I was there. I think people get a little bit weirded out about people pulling out their camera and taking photos of people by the side of the pool, so you'll just have to look at the website. Now, I'm not going to bother doing a comparison with what it takes or how long it takes to drive there, because that would be really unfair to the car, because the ride there was just so nice. You know, with Leichhardt Pool, I think it's worth comparing how long it takes to get there, because it's the closest pool to me, and well, Drummoyne's pretty close as well. But Cabarita, it's a different kind of mindset. What I've found with going there is I'd really like taking the long way, taking the cruisy way, going down to Breakfast Point, riding around the water, just stopping and enjoying the view. If the gardens are in flower and that's your thing, well, it'll just be absolutely magnificent. So, get over this kind of, is it fast in the car or not? No, it's a different thing. Yeah, it may well be faster driving there in the car, but you'd miss out on enjoying the view. I did get a little bit lost coming up from the wharf, going through the car parks, etc. I do need to learn the direct route. I guess I'll get there eventually if I do this a few more times. Outside the swimming pool, there's 6 hoop-shaped bike racks, so there's plenty of space to park 12 bikes. Mine, as far as I know, is probably the only bike that's ever been parked there. I don't know if I haven't been there often enough to say whether this is a popular place to ride a bike to. As far as pricing goes, it's the same price as Drummoyne, $7.20 for adults, and it's cheaper than Leichhardt. Leichhardt's gone up; it's now $9.20 to get in. It's worth getting a season pass or a packet of 20 tickets or whatever it is, and get the discount, I think. One nice thing about about Cabarita, it's got change rooms. Although compared to the Leichhardt change rooms, they're a little bit ordinary, a bit small. A bit cramped maybe, but look, they're change rooms. You can get changed, they're fine, they do the job. Compared to Drummoyne Pool, where I couldn't find any change rooms at all, I think that's pretty good. I couldn't find any lockers at Cabarita. I know there's lockers at Leichhardt, they're in the change rooms, they're completely obvious. I've used them quite a few times. Again, Drummoyne, I have no idea if they've got lockers, and I don't think they do. If that's your thing, if you've got a bike computer and a phone and stuff you want to lock up, that might sway whether you go there or not. Now, I did decide to ride there in bike clothing rather than bathers. I can ride to both Leichhardt and Drummoyne in bathers because it's pretty close. But I decided to take a detour. I wanted to go up to Broughton Street and have a look at the cycleway progress. So it actually was about the 15-kilometre ride for me to get there, and it was nearly 30-something degrees today. So, yeah, rode in cycle kit and got changed, hence the need for change rooms. I didn't bother taking a towel though. When I left, I was dry within 5 minutes of getting on the bike. In fact, I think I was dry by the time I got on the bike. Now, what's it like swimming in the pool? The water is super, super salty. It's like Drummoyne. They just must have backed up a cement mixer full of salt and dumped it in there. If you don't mind that kind of thing, well, fantastic. I'm not a big fan of it. In fact, I actually had trouble doing breaststroke because I was floating so much, my feet kept coming out of the water and I was kicking in the air, and that's a pretty weird feeling. And I absolutely could not have swum without goggles. At the end, I took the goggles off, got a bit of water in my eyes, and it was like, ow, 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 ow. That was not good. If you like a more subtle salt, or more, chlorine/salt, well, you might want to go somewhere else. But, if you've got goggles, it's absolutely fine. But just, drinking in that salty water while you're swimming, I had to stop at a cafe for a milkshake on the way home. It was just this, salty, just super salty taste, and no matter how much water I drank out of my bidon, I couldn't get the taste out of my mouth. So then became a search for a cafe, which meant the trip home was longer than it should be, because I had to take detours looking for a cafe, blah, blah, blah. You might want to consider that as an issue. When I come right home from Leichhardt, for instance, don't have this problem so much. And of course the cafe I wanted to go to, which was Paperboy, well, they closed the kitchen at 2:30, so that was no good. And I won't mention the place where I did stop because I didn't think it was very good, so I'm not going to say anything about them. The pool, back to the pool. The water is super clean and crystal clear. I mean, it's a pool that's in really good condition. And yeah, might whinge about the saltiness of it, but flipping heck, it's nice. It's one of those places where when you're swimming up and down, you can see the bottom of the pool. You can see the shadows made by the ripples as you swim. It's if you like that kind of meditative experience, it's really good. I get in some other pools and they're kind of a little bit milky, and you kind of wonder what's swimming around in them. This is not one of those pools. It's great. I was there at what time? I get there a bit after about 2 o'clock. And at that time of the day, I don't think it's a place for serious swimmers. There were only like 2 or 3 of us doing laps. I had a lane to myself. It was great. It did mean there were a lot of, like early 20-something peanuts hanging around, being a bit of a pain, but, I didn't mind. I was just doing laps up and down. The views from the pool are great. I mean, most of the time, of course, you're just looking at the bottom of the pool, but when you get out and stick your head up, if you like big, expensive boats, well, it's the place to go. There's a marina right next to it. Big stink boats there, just fantastic. Not my cup of tea, but look, it's like it's like a brochure. It's amazing. Anyway, what's the overall rating? For me, it's too salty for my liking. But if it's your local pool, well, it's really nice. It's a nice pool. It's not run down or anything. It's clean and nice and all the rest of it. That said, I would certainly consider adding it as a destination on my longer rides. There's something to do on the way home. So, for instance, if I was riding down to the Cooks River, doing the lap up past Rookwood, etc., as I'm coming through Concord, well, instead of going through roads, why not peel off and go up to Cabarita and do a kilometre in the pool and then head home? I think that'd be quite good. Saltiness, etc., notwithstanding. I just know that I'd have to do this early enough so I could probably go to Paperboy to have something to drink on the way home. Haven't tried that place. Don't know if it's any good, but I'm going to give it a crack next time. And look, it's worth dropping in for a swim simply as an excuse to ride around Breakfast Point and enjoy the view. It really is a beautiful part of the world there with the nice houses and the gardens and the water and the boats and on a day like today when it was clear and almost cloudless and not too windy, just absolutely smashing. If you go to Bali and stay in those kind of 5 or 6 star resorts with the manicured lawns and the beautiful, the fantastic kind of castle-shaped hotels and stuff, it kind of reminded me of that, except, of course, it's not Bali, and I can't afford to live there. Cabarita, pretty good. Good by bike, and I suggest giving it a go.